Idea 68, who knows. Driver's test. Kid, 17, takes a driver's test with a driver's test instructor, hardcore kind of typical person. And as he or she is nervously driving through the test with the guy with the clipboard, instead of remarking or criticizing or saying anything about the driving, the guy with the clipboard, the driver's test guy, is writing down all of the things about the Honda as it makes a turn, as it comes to a stop, as if he is evaluating the Honda, not the driver. And we get to the conclusion of the test, and the kid is anxiously saying, like, well, and the instructor's writing the thing down. He says, what? And he's like, pass or fail, And the guy's like, oh, the Honda, pass with flying colors. He's like, no, not the car, me. And the guy's like, oh, you failed. You couldn't parallel park, and you missed the second left off Maple. But if you come back tomorrow with the Honda, I'd be glad to give you a retest. And he gets out, and the kid's stunned, and as he is like going into the next car, he's just kind of looking and oogling the exterior, like, I love this job, kind of thing. And then he goes into the next car, which is not a Honda. Maybe he's annoyed by that, but I like the ending where he's looking at the car from the exterior and making the kid come back with the Honda the next day. That's driver's test. So those are 2 extra ideas for you. Okay. Yeah, driver's test. Oh, and a couple other ones I'm going to add. Idea in the 50s, beyond the quota, but just a couple bonus round ideas. Trade secret. A couple of executives from a competitor are in like a back alley. They're nervous, they're looking around, and it's classy, like corporate espionage kind of thing. They say, where's this Honda guy? Where's this Honda guy? And around the corner comes a guy who works for Honda or worked for Honda, and or is a corporate espionage agent. And so he comes around the corner and they say, all right, we only have like a minute here. Did you find out their secret? He says, I got a job there and I worked 9 months. I got up to the highest levels of management, and I found out their secret. Great. They say that the 3 suited, comedic in their tone, in that they're such kind of company men, and they say, what is the secret? And the guy says, looks to his right, looks to his left, leans in, and he says, they care. And the guys from the other company look at each other and they're like, you call that no, they don't say that word. You call that a trade secret that they care? They said, we care as much as they do. Every quarter, every day we care. From the opening bell to the club, we care. And they're all saying this among themselves. And he interrupts them. He goes, no. They care about the cars. And the guys are silent and they look at each other like, oh, they care about the car, and then they're like, not the money. And they look at each other like, they don't care about the money and the profits. They say that, and the guy just stares at them, kind of like, these guys are idiots. This corporate espionage agent, and they're just like, they care about the cars. No, like, as if they, like, what an incredible insight, and they are completely happy now that they think they have this, that they have the secret Honda. And they hand the guy a briefcase of thousands of dollars, and he walks away, and hands it. I think he walks away. He hands it to a homeless guy, who's like, "I spare a dime," and the corporate espionage guy hops in his Honda and drives away. Pull out crane shot or something where the 3 guys are coming out of the alley, still wrapping their heads around it, like, so they care about the money from the cars? No, or just the cars themselves? I'm just trying to understand. And I think that, again, is very dry, very subtle humor, but very cool. It's called Trade Secrets. The other one is, well, it's going to come next. Okay, idea number 44 is the license plate game variation. When we were all young and we were bored during driving on a trip, we would play the license plate game where, you look for license plates for different states or whatever, okay? And basically, this is, the kids are bored and they're like, we're bored, and then the parents are like, um, let's play the license plate game. And the kids are like, nah, Dad, that's lame. I mean, honestly, that's really lame, the license plate game. He's like, no, 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 no. There's a, no, this is a twist. This is a new twist on that. And, you got to find, license plates for all 50 states and they can only be Hondas. And the kids perk up, and you have this multi-edit, boom, 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 staccato thing where, the boy's like, Civic from Cincinnati, Accord from Alabama, minivan from Minnesota. And in other words, as they drive around, Hondas are everywhere because they're being sold everywhere, the hottest car in America, and they're seeing them there, but they're doing license plate game variation for Hondas. So now we've identified a bunch of different models, and we have shown that, them in all their glory, and we've done it in a fun way, and we've shown kids and family having a good time doing it. And I think the way the thing ends is, that like one of them is like, I got 49, and they say something to the effect of like, I just need a, an Accord from Arizona or something. And it ends where there's a shot of the outside of the car where they're playing the game, and it's kind of fading back, and it shows that they're driving the whole time in Accord, and you see that on their license plate it says Arizona. They are, as people sometimes do, so familiar with their own selves and where they live that they forgot that they are driving an Accord from Arizona. I think it's a cute ending. Don't have to end it like that. The point is, the idea is strong in the middle of it. It's not one of those twist funny endings. It's one of those, it's just cool throughout the whole thing because of the staccato infrastructure of this license plate game variation that everyone knows in Gen X and above. So that's idea 40. I know we're in the mid-40s, let's put it that way. So we will, we did that, and that one more right here I'm going to do, okay? This is, at a Honda dealership, we have basically, everyone, all the salespeople are there, and their boss is like, "Hey, hi, we have Bob Jones here, who is a sales event specialist. He works with all different car makers, not just Honda. This is the first time we've had him in with Honda, but we just thought we give him a shot, and he helps put on specific sales events, okay." And he's like high energy. He's like, "Hey ho, hi people, what do you say? Where's the energy here? Come on, blah blah blah." And it's staccato again edit where this guy is talking about his approach to doing sales events. He's like, the way we do it at when we do a sales event is that we put out all the stops. It's going to be a 3-day event. It's going to be open from this time to that time. There's going to be dry ice. There's going to be dancing girls. There's going to be music. There's going to be musicians. There's going to be flame throwers, and there's going to be guys juggling chainsaws, and it's like absurd thing after absurd thing after absurd thing after absurd thing. Halo lights that go up 1,000 feet in the sky. You'll be able to see it from 500 miles away. Air siren storms. It's funny throughout the whole thing how crazy, insane this guy is. And at the very end, he finishes, and he's like, so when are we going to do? So we want to book this. We're going to book this thing. When do you guys want to do this? And one salesman raised their hands and says, but you know, dancing girls, dry ice, and the guy's like, yep, it's gonna be awesome. He's like, why would we need any of that? We sell Hondas. The idea being simply that the Honda sells itself. You don't need dry ice and dancing girls. You don't even need sales events, although I know Honda does have them. Those are all things that a lesser car maker needs to bring in customers on their lot, because the cars certainly won't. That's what the commercial is about. I love that commercial. I hope you do too. That's called, the sales event. Um, anyway, that's good for now, and get some more ideas. Yeah, we're almost done. Idea number 42: first date. Um, Guy gets ready for first date. He's getting ready. The parents are nervous. They're downstairs. He's getting dressed. He comes down. Mother's like, "Oh, you look so cute. You have a great time." He's like, "Mom, you're embarrassing me." And then the father goes and walks his son out a bit from the front door, hands him a couple bucks, and he's just like, "Be a gentleman. Shake the father's hand and look him in the eye." And he's like, "Okay, Dad." And then he's basically starting to walk away, and you see him kind of walking towards a junker, and the father says, "Hey, kiddo." He goes, "What?" And then he tosses him the keys. Okay, and this is a play off of some other ideas I've had, but I don't care. It's still good and unique and different. Is that he grabs the keys, and the kid is so excited and so psyched when we see it, and we cut to the garage opening. Okay, and in the garage is a Porsche or its equivalent and a new Honda, and we see the kid run into the garage, and we don't know until the last minute that he veers off and obviously gets into the Honda. And it's please, anyone that's listening to this that thinks that's trite, I'm telling you it's not. Okay, it will completely work, because it's not even ironic. I mean, it is ironic, obviously, but it's not even that ironic in the sense that sometimes being ostentatious is the wrong move to go on the first date. To be humble or to be down to earth is something that girls like, and it's not about being rich or in other words, it espouses positive values, but it's still funny and ironic. So, again, that's called first date. And I like it a lot. It's a variation off the risky business one, as well as the other first date idea, but great idea. First date, I like it. It's 41. I think we did 41 assembly line. That was 42, which was first date. Okay, good. We're good. We're moving on. Or we're at 43, I think. Idea number 40: the road trip. You have a bunch of college kids, 4 college kids, like the movie Road Trip, get into a Honda, and they're like, road trip, road trip, road trip, and you basically it's a montage of imagery where you see them driving, having fun. They're not drinking in the car or anything, but they're having a blast, and you see them having fun. And the fun is basically it's abstract, meaning you see them talking to girls, but they're it's in a parking lot, or as they're walking out of a restaurant, or at a gas station or whatever, and they're dancing, but it's again, it's like at a roadhouse. It turns out to be when we see them walk out, and it's again, car driving, image of having fun, car driving, image of having fun. Not all of it has to be college type fun. It could just be tomfoolery and things, bonding and seeing beautiful stuff. But the whole point of the spot is that at the end we have them returning to where to the college that they belong to, and they get back, and as they park, it looks like they've been 3,000 miles. It's dirty and they're exhausted, whatever. And a girl comes up who's their friend and says, well, the road trippers return, where'd you guys go party? Where have you guys been for 4 days? Was Colgate or she rattles off a couple colleges' names. Like, where'd you guys go? And they all look at each other, and they're like, where do we go? We can go. We can go anywhere. It was a road trip. Yeah, like as if she's insane to think that a road trip involves actually driving somewhere, partying, and coming back. To them, the road trip was the Honda. The road trip, the party was the journey, and they just drove around for a bunch of days, and that can be rendered retrospectively like the in the movie The Hangover, for example, where it's we never see the bachelor party until the end and a number of shots. It's not the same idea, but the idea is implied that all this fun time was had on the road, places along the road, but never did they get to a destination because, as we all know, it is not about the destination, it's about the journey, which will be an idea later that we play with in a sincere way. Anyway, that is idea number 40. Idea number 41 is the assembly line. The assembly line is simple. It is a visual montage of a real assembly line where Fords are being made. Stock footage, it may exist, I don't know. Let's go to one and film it, whatever. Okay, take those imageries, and then compare it to having artists in a Soho loft doing sculpture, another artist doing with a canvas a painting, another artist in terms of writing music and having instruments with them. And what we're doing is that when we are basically trying to show that the act of assembling a Honda, even though it's highly mechanized, is like an art form, because just like a canvas with a painter, there is the design stage where it was approved, where we see that. And even though it's a robotic arm that's going in and doing something, it is then we cut to a hand with a paintbrush doing something. So we are humanizing the mechanization of the assembly line, and not just humanizing it, but making it an artistic humanization or personification. That's very important, is to personify and make a human and emotional what is, for all car makers, a very non-human thing. And of course, the humans that are involved should be heavily filmed and used, but we want to then have a superseding voiceover the whole time that makes this point for us. At Honda, we realize that a lot's changed since Henry Ford first created the assembly line, which was all perhaps individuals with machines. And then now it's very mechanized. But Honda makes the point that despite the mechanization of this, they say, and I can write the copy, that in this age of digital technology and robotic this and that, we still understand that it's the human touch, the human perspective, the human emotion, the human sense of art and design and aesthetics and engineering that it makes a Honda special. That no computer could ever create this, no robot could ever build this. It is humans that are indelibly involved. The robots simply are cost effective, but they are simply executing what some incredible human people at Honda have devised. That's 40 and 41, and we're getting to the end here. Okay, this is a little bit of an edgy idea. It's idea number, we just did 36, 37, this is 38. Okay, we have a couple of, klutzy thieves, criminals that are in the bushes with binoculars, casing out a row of different car dealerships, and they are discussing which ones they want to go to that night and try to steal inventory off of the lot. Now, I know, just reserve your reaction, this is supposed to be funny, okay? And we go to competitor number one, and they analyze the street value of it and whatever, but they don't want to steal them because of problem number 1, 2, and 3. So you're criticizing Honda's competition. The next lot, Honda's competitor, they say good things about it, and then the mastermind says no because of X, Y, and Z. That criticism of that competitor. Okay, then they get to the Honda lot. They get, and we see the long lens of their binoculars, and people shaking hands and lots of activity. By the way, there's lots more activity on the Honda lot than the other ones. And they're like, hey, how about a Honda, boss? Like, look, people seem to love them. They're being sold like hotcakes. I see them everywhere. There's a market for them. Let's I say let's steal the Hondas tonight. And the guy who has been criticizing every car up until then as to why not to steal them says, shakes his head and is like, buddy, a Honda, and he starts quickly. I know these are 30 seconds, but it's all happens quickly. He's like, a Honda, is already the most car you can get for your dollar. It's got the greatest. It's the best value in the car market. Everyone knows that, and they sell them for such a reasonable cost, and they give so much that there's no need to risk going to jail. If we want Hondas, we should just walk up there. And here's the tagline. With a Honda, it's already a steal. And that's the tagline. Honda, so good, it's a steal. And again, risky, edgy, but funny. And if you're looking to get people 30 and under, I'm telling you, my personal advice is you have to get edgy, you have to get irreverent, and you have to not change who Honda is, but rather take what they are and make it cool, make it funny, make it interesting, make it edgy. So it's a steal. That is okay. That's 38. This is 39. Okay, 39 is the mad test drive. Okay, unlike with the kid test drive, this is a different one. Okay, all right. The couple gets into the car. It's the couple driving and the salesman in the back seat. As the couple drives, the husband, it doesn't matter who's driving. Let's say it's the woman. I think it'd be funnier, and the husband's in the passenger seat. She drives it. She's driving it, and she's angry the entire time. Every time it comes to a stop, she doesn't say a bad word, but she's just like, like mad. As they take turns, she's mad. As they accelerate in traffic, she's mad, and it seems as though she's hating the experience, and the husband looks nervous, and the salesman looks nervous, and no one wants to ask her what's wrong, because she's PO'd. And they get to the end of the test drive, they get back to the lot, and they're like the man's like, honey, what was wrong? And the salesman like, yeah, is there something? Is it the model? Is it maybe it's the test? Maybe it's the demo car. Or maybe there's something wrong with it. Like just communicate. What's the problem? And she sighs, and she's like, that is the problem. There is no problems. I won't, damn, like, and you don't care, got a curse or anything, but she's like, darn it, I want one. The premise being that the husband brought her there, and she did not want to buy a Honda. She did not want to buy a car, perhaps. And why she was mad was, as she drove the Honda, it was so great that it got her so annoyed, because she knew she had to buy it. It was too good not to buy it. It's such a good deal. Again, during the drive, when the guy's like, "Oh, we're having a special and 0% financing," or whatever their deals are, it's like she's mad at that. She's mad at every good thing that there is. That's why it makes no sense until the end, when we realize that she is the reluctant buyer who is very, very tough to please, but the Honda pleases her, and she's actually mad about it. And, again, very funny, very dry. That is idea number, we just did 37 and 38, the test drive. Okay, 39 real quick, is the stunt. we have a movie set kind of thing, and we are basically with the hotshot producers, directors, and the stunt coordinator in the first 10 seconds talking about a chase, the robbers, the thing, the that, the this, and he's storyboarding it all, and at the end, it's going to flip. It's going to a ball of flames. There's going to be this, that. I think it's like the most spectacular thing you've ever heard on paper and on storyboard. And at the end of the pitch, second 20, the director, the producer, all these Hollywood types are like, give little claps, and they're like, "Great, we love it. You're the best, baby. Let's shoot it or whatever." And then someone's like, "Oh, wait, well, what's, and some PA kind of person is like, okay, oh, sorry, but like, what car do you want me to go get? What car are we using for the stunt?" And the person's like, you know, at the very end, what car do we get? And the issue is basically, or the line is, should I, just get the best. The person's like, just get the best car, the best car that we can get. And the producer's like, but for under, for a reasonable price. And the guy's like, okay, so I'll just get a Honda. And the stunt person, this is the end of the commercial, is like, a Honda? Do you think I'd ever intentionally harm a Honda? And again, the joke being it's like an animal or PETA, like no harms were, Hondas were harmed in the making of this. That again, this is thematic. We could do 3 or 4 spots on this idea of the stunt car where the Honda is identified as the ideal car because it can do all these incredible moves and does all these things, but we would never use it because it'd be sacrilege to destroy a Honda in the explosion. And again, that's 3 ideas in one. It's like you could say, yeah, we want the Honda, but then we're going to switch it out at the last minute and have a Acura explode, because who cares if they explode? Okay, so again, many ideas into one, but the premise is there in terms of incredible car chase scene, and it's a double-sided coin. A Honda would be the best, perhaps, to drive it, but we would never destroy such a thing. And that's funny. That's dry, and it's deadpan, and it works. That was idea. Okay, there's a few ideas. Idea number 36. Okay, this is a dog theme idea. We're going to go a couple dog theme ideas here. We have dogs that are in a very nice neighborhood, or a very ordinary neighborhood where there's kids playing everywhere, and the dogs are chasing every car that comes down the block, and they are chasing the competition car number 1, competition car number 2, competition car number 3, and then at, say, the 20-second, 15-second mark, a amazing new Accord, Honda, whatever, comes around the block and starts to drive down the street, and the kids who are playing ball like stare at it, and the ball like in slow motion starts to come to a stop, bounce, 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 and the dogs, who have been chasing and going crazy, and after the car outruns them, they'll always look for the next car to run to. They're always freaking out. Even once this Honda comes around the curve, everything slows down, the music changes, and the dogs all sit as the car passes, almost like a funeral procession, but not negative, not like a downer, totally out of respect. Like this is something to observe, and we wouldn't dare to chase this. And it is as if they're all stunned, and then the car drives past the Honda, and it says, you know how the old saying, like, that animals have a sixth sense, they sense when the weather or a catastrophe or an earthquake's coming, that whole idea. Well, the tagline plays off that, obviously, and we can play with that in terms of Honda. Animals have animal knows when something is in the air, or something different's in the air, when something special's in the air, when animals can sense things that the humans cannot, and you know, which plays into even the fact that the children would respond because children catch things that adults don't. And again, there are things you can play with as a variation of that, but I'm not getting into that now. So anyway, that's dog idea number 1, and that's idea 35. Or no, I was idea 36, dogs chasing. This is a variation of that where basically it's the opposite idea. And now, just like we had talking cars, now we have talking dogs. And the dogs are all sitting, okay? And we're ascribing voices to them, and we don't have to see their mouth move. It's just in their brains telepathically or, you know, by comedy. And competition car drives past. They don't chase it, okay? Competition car drives number 2. They don't chase it. But not only that, they criticize it. I want to make this clear. Like the cars that spoke, now we have dogs that are speaking. And they are speaking to each other, saying like, oh, that's inaccurate. Being like, it's criticism number 1, criticism number 2. That's whatever. Whatever the competition is. Don't like it because of this reason. Don't like that because of the reason. And different dogs say different things. They make jokes. It's like a bunch of guys making fun of other football teams that are Eagles fans or something. Okay? And then when the Honda comes down the road at second 18, like true love, like a beautiful woman walking in or something like that, they all are stunned and they all start to chase after the Honda. Why? Because they want to observe it. They want to look at it. And as they are running along with it, okay, on the sides, they are barking, but we hear barking, but what we kind of cut to is the fact that in their language, what we've been hearing prior to the car coming up, are them shouting to each other things like, it's got 18-inch tires, da, 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 da. It's got 80, da, da. It's like, because each dog has a different perspective on it. The one's like near the wheel, the other one's in the rear, one's got, right at the front, to the side, one's looking into the interior, who's a bigger dog, up on the hill maybe. So they're all communicating to each other. They're selling the car to the audience, obviously the audience that's watching, to each other by saying what amazing things it has, okay? And when the car finally drives away and the dogs all finally are tired and, the car finally outruns them, they all come to a stop, just kind of sit, rest, and see it drive off in the distance, and they're like, gosh, sometimes I really do envy those humans because they are able to drive Hondas. So that is idea. That's idea. Ready? We just did idea 35. The dogs chasing. That was 36. Dogs chasing. 37 was dogs talking and chasing, and that's it. It's for those two. Okay. This is called idea number 35. The test drive. You have. Again, a child coming in with a couple parents, and these parents don't say a word. It's purely the daughter, this young 9-year-old daughter, who talks the whole time. And she goes right to the salesman and says, I'd like to take a test drive, please. I'd like to test drive an Accord. And the salesman's like, you don't have a license, though. And she's like, oh, no, I don't want to drive the car. You drive it. I'm going to ride in it and evaluate it. And you cut to the salesman driving the car, and she's in the front seat with a clipboard, as if this is a driving test, where everyone's very nervous when they take it when they're 16. And she's directing the entire, and the parents are in the back seat, saying nothing. And the entire commercial is her being like, maintain 35 miles per hour, and then I want you to come do a stop, within 50 yards of the next light. I want you to take a right and then a quick left, and then in the parking lot there, do a 360, observing traffic laws, do a 360. Then I want you to do a parallel parking. It's like one thing after another that she's directing this salesman to do. So it's by the end, he's exhausted, he's stressed out, he's, at the edge of his seat. And then they get back to the dealership, and, they stop. The parents all haven't said a word. And the salesman's like exhausted, and he puts it in the park, and he's just like, so, did we pass? Like, what's the verdict? And she's like, one moment, please. And she's looking over her notes and writes some things, and then looks back to her parents, nods, and the commercial ends with them saying, so we'll take it. And as we kind of, the camera pulls out, they're very talky as they get out of the car and or go do the paperwork. So that's like a little subtle joke there that they're not actually mutes, that they actually can talk. And at that point, the kid is again runs to go get a lollipop or something, and stops being a savant. That is the test drive, number 35, idea 35. Also, there is one other one, and but I don't think. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go to another one. 35. That was 35. Idea 33. College. We're at a seminar. Well, this could go either way. We can do this for as a seminar in college, or we can do this as like a kindergarten class. Okay, and what it is a very old teacher who is very knowledgeable and smart is being asked these very profound questions like, "What is the meaning of life?" And we don't hear the answers, but we have this, Socrates type teacher say, imply that he or she has the answers by going to the backboard and being like, the meaning of life is, and he starts to, and the voice trails off, and we dissolve into the next question, and again, it's another profound question, and we do four profound questions. Why do bad things happen to good people? How come there's these hugely philosophical, huge weird questions? Okay, to which again he or she always goes to the backboard with the beginnings of the answer, and at the end of it, someone asks, how, well, again, variations is what you can do here. You can say, why is Honda the greatest car the car maker in the world? Or variation, why can't anyone make a car as good as Honda? Why is Honda the only car maker that does X, Y, and Z? However you want to differentiate Honda in your message, whatever that is, whether it be specific or general, the point is that upon being asked this question that is not philosophical, is concrete, whatever it may be, and that's not my call about what that question may be, but as it's asked, the teacher goes to the board like he always does or she always does, and as if he knows what is the answer, and then at the end of the commercial stops, turns, is clearly stumped, and does not have the answer. And in other words, this he or she knows the meaning of the universe. He or she knows why bad things happen to good people. He or she knows the most unknowable things. But as to what makes a Honda, what is, for example, the question I would use is perhaps, what makes a Honda the greatest car in the world? Because there's so many reasons that make Hondas great. And so it's as if that question is so perplexing to this teacher who knows everything about everything, but it truly stumps him or her. And that's how the spot ends with, indeed, why, or interesting question, or I don't know. You can, again, as I pitch these ideas, I'm always pitching thematic templates that if asked for, I can write specific copy for. That's not what my mandate is. It's to pitch these 53 ideas. But again, when you get into the template of what I've just said, you can go a lot of different directions. And that's a good, not a bad thing. I could give you the specific things right here, but the good news is that's a theme we could do on many levels for many different questions. You can do a couple spots with that theme. Okay, that was 33. So 34 is the back to the expert kid thing. Into the theme of 11-year-olds being experts, we want, again, I think if you did that, to go thematic on it. So therefore, you have that kid, I think it was idea 29 or something, who's helping the hardcore negotiation. But now for idea number 34, we have a service call where a person's bringing in a Honda for the service, and you have the kid who is badgering the mechanic the whole time he's doing the service, asking him, the 29-point inspection questions. Did you bleed out the brakes? And the mechanic, it's almost like a Yoda, Luke Skywalker thing, but the mechanic is not annoyed because it's a Honda mechanic. It's good. He's impatient and he's cool, and he explains that all these child's questions are almost unnecessary for this car. Um, it may a thing may be at the very end where he like kneels, crouches down, and says, "Son, what did your parents drive before this? I bet it wasn't a Honda, right?" And he's like, "No, that's how you learned all this, right? You know, he spent so much time in the shop." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you don't got to worry about that anymore because your parents have a Honda now, and all those things are going to be okay." So it's as if we have this child who has been traumatized by not owning a Honda, his parents not owning a Honda. Now they do. Service is a cinch. He doesn't have to worry about it. But because he's precocious and he is, in a funny way, an expert about cars, he is riding the guy, making sure the car gets all this stuff. And then I think what would be a funny way to end it is that the parent returns from getting coffee or whatever, and almost like the kid snaps out of this savant stage, and it's as if the parent doesn't know the kid's a savant, and he walks in with the coffee, and immediately the serviceman gets up and the parent's like, "So what are you doing? What are you guys doing?" And the boy's like, "Oh, the nice man was just teaching me how cars move, how an engine works, what a carburetor is." Maybe mispronounces the word. In other words, plays dumb. And then says to the parent quickly, can I go get a gumball? And walks out, gives a little wink to the mechanic, and the parent, unbeknownst to all this happening, is like, kids say the funniest things, kind of thing like that. I know that sounds long. Trust me, it can all be done in 30 seconds because it's car up on the left, question, car down, question, no, question. 15-second mark is the mechanic saying what he says, talking about the past and the pre-Honda days, assuring the kid. By second 22, the parent returns, does the whole dumb kid thing, and it's a quick, fast-moving commercial, but it's funny and it will work. I'm telling you. So that is the service call of the kid. Again, onto that thematic idea, we have the fact that another one that is kind of an offshoot of the Bluetooth one is this idea that instead of waiting for the end to show it in terms of the surprise, we have a couple people who are negotiating to buy a car, and you especially it'd be funny if say it was a younger, like a 20 something, who's doing it, like it's their first or second car, who would naturally be ignorant about such things, and throughout the negotiation, or perhaps just near at the end of the negotiation, he just says, before I sign on the dotted line, can I just, I just want to make a call about this. And he makes a call. This 22-year-old says the price, says what he's getting, says what the features are, whatever. And you hear him, you don't see he's on the line, and you're just like, he's like, uh-huh. And maybe he asks one question or second question really quick. And at the end, it's like, okay, thanks a lot. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do it. And hangs up. And the salesman, he's like, okay, let's do this. And the salesman's like, your parents. And the 22-year-old laughs and is like, no, my little brother. And we cut to, him getting off. The little kid was on the computer, obviously talking to his older brother, older sister, whatever. And again, is playing with Xbox. And right when he gets off the call, says, Mom, can I get some more pizza rolls? Again, being a kid again, going right back to the kid thing. So again, totally different spot, same idea as the other one. Once you get into these themes, I believe once you like one, if you like one, I can develop dozens of variations. It's just about, it's infinite when you think about it, but it's a question of what direction you want to go. I like this idea of the savant expert kids. I think it's very funny. So that's that. I know we're almost up to idea 35 now. So.